That's a metaphor for how we like to take in information. Some people like to learn by reading. Some people, they just cannot get through a book though. They have to listen to that audio or that podcast. And so we all have different styles and it's not right or wrong. Now we can actually improve our ability to read. We actually can improve our ability to listen and apply.
Memory is not something you have, it's something that you actually do. That there's no such thing as a good or bad memory, but there is a trained memory and an untrained memory. So you're gonna like this tip, regardless of your age, your background, your education level, your gender, your history, your IQ.
Brain nutrients. And this is a subject that comes up because a lot of people travel, they have fast food lifestyles, and but maybe they're lacking in certain supplements. And what I would say is, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not anything that ends on an ist, but go to a doctor, a good functional medicine doctor, have a blood test, and I say the same thing for diet. When people say what's the best. So we show up here, and most people don't show up. I think in life, you want to show up for your health, show up for your relationships, show up for your career, show up for your service. But just showing up, is that just going to get the job done? It's tough, right? How many people feel like, you want to be logical sometimes, but you get your mind gets hijacked by your heart sometimes, right? Especially the emotions that get in the way of you learning, like anxiety. Science is saying that within 2 days, just 48 hours of listening to a podcast, reading a book, going to a conference, getting a coaching, 80% of it, up to 80% is lost. And that's, as somebody who's investing time, energy, treasure into something. Now we can actually improve our ability to read. We actually can improve our ability to listen and apply. So if there are areas where we feel weak, this book is a guidebook to be able to level up those areas so you could be more of a whole brain learner also as well. Now, it's been shown in science, the research, by playing more actually creates neurogenesis and neuroplasticity, new growth, new brain cells. How many people like the idea of creating more new brain cells? What about neuroplasticity? What does that mean? More connections. People are doing inside their mind that allows them to get these incredible results. A book, I've been reading a book a week now. I've been reading a book a day for over 4 years.
This is the power of the mind, being placed in a position where you are planning, where you are preparing, where you need to be able to perform at optimal levels, right? And so intention isn't a do it once and forget about it. It's not that kind of thing. It's this continuous, consistent use of the mind in a focused manner. And when you cultivate this state and use it, you can get what you want in life easier.
I want you to just think about a subject that you're having a challenge in or something you really want to master. It could be marketing, it could be Mandarin, it could be music, it could be martial arts. Think about a subject or skill, because I want to make this extremely, extremely practical. Taking a piece of paper and putting a line straight down the page. And on the left side, what I'm doing is I'm capturing information.
Okay.
Capturing. So we could talk about how to remember names and how to read faster and how to learn skills faster, how to change your habits. That would be on the left-hand column. You're capturing information.
Okay.
But on the right side, instead of capturing, you're creating. What does that mean? It means that you're creating and you're building on it. Information combined with emotion comes a long-term memory. The state that you learn something and the mood and the feelings that you learn something in gets attached to what you want to learn. Also, it's going to motivate. Because here's the thing, a lot of times people go and they come to me and say, Jim, I'm too old, or this runs in my family, or I'm just not smart enough, or I have a horrible memory. But I always tell people, if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. If you argue for your limits, they're yours. And so you always wanted to monitor your self-talk. Because here's why, your mind is always eavesdropping on yourself. Yeah, it regulates, right? It helps manage. It sets a standard or a vision or a goal, and then what happens to the environment? It raises to be able to do that. Is there a difference? And so that's where we're going back to responsibility. When we're talking about being responsible, the ability to be able to respond is how you feel about things and also how you focus on things. Be fast stands for believe. Meaning that, I work with a lot of athletes, high performer athletes. Concussions are a big deal, right? And I've had a number of TBIs, traumatic brain injuries. You feel absent-minded, like senior moments are coming way too early, or you read a page in a book, get to the end, and what? You forget what you just read. Or you get somebody's name, what happens? You forget their name. Memory is a multiplier. When you have a trained memory, you could do a remarkable things. Health, in your career, in your relationships, and so much more. Where a lot of opportunities are going. They're going to automation, software, they're going to computers and artificial intelligence, and they're being outsourced. So your value is the power of your mind. That's what they're not going to be easily be able to duplicate or to farm out, if you will. The power of the mind, I'm going to talk about 3 superpowers we talk about: creativity, imagination, strategy. Like Einstein didn't have a bigger brain than anyone here. Probably it was actually less. But in certain areas of his brain, he had highly connected. He did these thought experiments where he would put himself in these brainwaves, specifically theta state. The theta state of creativity. That's the state that you're in when you shower.